Welcome to another great episode of the Beyond Normal podcast. Today we have a very special guest who is actually delivering physical goods, desserts to your front door. We have a guest by the name of Sianni. She is the founder of Cranky Granny's Sweet Rolls. I'm excited to have her on. We don't get too many entrepreneurs nowadays that are really focusing on physical goods. So I want to bring her to the stage so she can share her story with everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
Doing good over here. Excited to have you on the platform. If you're ready, I'm excited to dig into your story. So you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Got it. So I want you to tell folks a little bit about your background in terms of you before being a business owner, right? You think of physical goods, you think of sweets. Like what was the path for you to get to this point where you want to be making cinnamon rolls for people?
So before this point, I mean, I was still in high school. So the earliest before this was maybe freshman year of high school, middle school and stuff, because I started my business at a very young age, came up with the idea and concept and everything at a very young age. I was 15 years old. I was in an entrepreneurship program. And I kept giving ideas on to someone else's idea. I was like, oh, what if you did mini this or mini that, da da da. And the instructor of the class was basically like, how about you take one of your own ideas? And I was like, okay. All right, so I sat there and thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do cinnamon rolls. And I used to work at this place called called Rita's Water Ice. And we served multiple different flavors of water ice. I'm like, that'd be cool if I kind of brought that to like the cinnamon roll world. I knew Cinnabon didn't really have any type of competition or anything like that. So I'm like, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And it was something I slowly became passionate about because I was not into becoming any type of baker or anything like that. I still don't even claim the title as baker. I just call myself an entrepreneur. And I just so happen to sell cinnamon rolls. But so I came up with the concept and everything when I was 15 years old. From 15 to 18, I was doing market research. And at 18 is when I fully executed everything because that's by the time like my trademark information and paperwork and everything was getting done, had the EIN, the domain name, and everything like that. So in between those years, 15 to 18, it's not like I stopped doing anything that had anything to do with Cranky Grannies. It was more so just a waiting process. And I'm 15, 16, 17. Not much money. I'm still hustling though, selling food platters and doing catering and things. So those are the things that funded Cranky Granny Sweet Rolls. So once I hit 18, did my first pop-up shop, sold out, and I just kept on going from there.
I appreciate you sharing that. And it like you touched on a lot of things there. You were in an entrepreneurship program early on in high school. That's something exciting to hear. I don't think everybody gets that opportunity, but you just really kind of having that bootstrap founder mentality. Like you said, it started for you at the age of 15. And you may not call yourself a baker, right? But that's what you are at this very moment, right? You started out in New Jersey, I believe, right? Correct?
Yeah, so I started over in Willingboro High School, which is where I graduated from, which is in Willingboro, New Jersey. That's 1,700 miles away from where I'm at currently. I'm now in Austin, Texas. I moved the business here about a year and a half ago, going on 2 years. Was 21 years old, no kids, not in college or anything like that. Had the opportunity to sell the sweet rolls out of a restaurant out here called Midtown Live on Cameron Road. And I was like, I really don't have anything to lose. And it's a mentality I had to get away for a while because even when I was thinking about college, I was like, I'm not going to college anywhere near Jersey. Like I was going to go to like Atlanta or something like that, something far away. So I feel like me leaving was kind of still going with that same mentality because I've been very independent my whole life. But I do have a lot of people I can depend on. I feel like it's a whole nother level of independency you get when you leave where you're from. And it's one thing to grow your business where you're from, where everyone's heard something about you or, someone can reference you. But it's a whole nother thing to see if that same idea works in an area where no one's ever heard about you. They don't know what a Cranky Grannies is. They don't know what a sweet roll is. Of course they know what it is, but they're not identifying it the same way that I am. So it's another thing to grow where you're from and then take it 1,700 miles away to the whole other side of the U.S. where no one knows who you are and see if that same idea works. And obviously, it's been working because 4 months later, after moving out here, we signed our lease to our very first storefront.
Congrats. Yes, congrats on that. And I
Thank
think
you.
that's a early on in the conversation you're dropping gems. That's definitely a beyond normal concept, right? You going to your hometown of New Jersey and then saying, hey, I'm going to move. I don't even know how many miles away that is. That's probably like, what, 1,500, 2,000 miles away to a
Mm-hmm.
different city, Austin, New Jersey to Austin. As folks can imagine, that's definitely a culture shock, I can imagine. So I'm curious to know for you, Sianni, in particular, what did you see in that Austin market that kind of would be a good opportunity for you to move to Texas, away from your hometown, where a lot of people, when they're building businesses, they look for that hometown love before branching out. What did you see?
I thought Texas is a place that loves to eat. Because I came here to visit in January of 2020, and I absolutely loved it. My girlfriend and I came out here just to take a look around or whatever, because we do have a couple people that we do know out here, which is actually the person who connected us to Midtown Live. And he was just saying how, this would be like really good place for you, it'd be a great market. And I started putting some thought into it. And like I said, I wanted to leave anyway. I was tired of being in Jersey. I was like, what the heck? I'm gonna just give it a try. And I was receiving a lot of like shipping orders from Texas. So I'm like, you know what? Obviously, they are interested in stuff like this, and just knowing that this is a place where, like, if you want to eat, you want to talk about food, people are most definitely going to bring Texas up in the conversation. So why not be one of those center points for that conversation, which we are now. Like, a lot of people that are coming from, we've had people from Cuba, we've had people from New Orleans, from New Jersey that may have found out about us once we moved, from Pennsylvania, California. We've had people from all over say, wow, we've been watching you on social media for so long, we're finally able to get a chance to come to the store. Or, oh, my family told me to come by here, my sister, my daughter, my son. So now we're in that conversation of one of those places that you need to visit when you come to Texas.
I applaud you for taking that big risk. Again, that's a beyond normal concept. You really not looking for that hometown love and saying you
Mm-hmm.
want that challenge of moving somewhere else, having that brand new audience, having that fresh perspective. And it seems like you said, you having some of those quick wins, 4 months in, being able to have your own shop. It seems like things are working for you. So I want to
Yeah.
dive a little bit into the physical product space, right? COVID has made this the whole idea of having and selling physical products to people very interested in this time. Can you speak a little bit around some of the challenges that you dealt with as COVID has happened and things like logistics have tightened up a little bit throughout the pandemic?
So it's crazy because when COVID originally happened, I was coming fresh from a trip from Puerto Rico. So I'm over in Puerto Rico, don't even know anything that's going on. And then we pop up over here. We see everyone's going crazy about toilet paper and all this stuff. So of course we go do our shopping and everything. Then we receive a call from our girlfriend's job saying how we're going to be closed for this day. And it went to, we're going to be closed for this week. Then it's, we don't know when you guys are coming back. And I was selling food platters at the time and doing catering, and I it kind of hit me because I'm like, if people aren't even willing to go to the malls anymore because COVID and stuff, they're definitely not going to be willing to buy anything out of someone's house or apartment anymore. So for about maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I stopped selling food platters, stopped doing catering and stuff like that, and I was just trying to figure out what am I going to do next, because I wasn't really into the whole digital product thing yet. Um, and I was like, what? I'm gonna just stop. But then I was just like, what? I'm gonna start again, and I'm gonna just start selling instead of just on Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna start selling just about every day, Wednesday through Sunday or whatever the case is, Monday through Sunday, whatever the schedule was. Like, I'm gonna just sell more days in order to be able to keep up with everything. Honestly, COVID probably impacted our business in the best way because we started selling even more than we were at one point. It's like before COVID hit, I guess that comfort food is what everyone really needed. That great comfort food, because we was doing a lot of soul food, the Alfredos, the this, that. Because I cook so many different things, whether it's Italian, it's Mexican, it's soul food, it's Jamaican food. I make so many different things, so people just wanted that comfort. So I think it helped us in that way. And as far as the sweet rolls, we were already shipping the sweet rolls out before COVID happened, but now people are on their phones more. So now, and that, like you're going to get advertised too if you're looking at Cranky Granny's like social media pages. So now people are on their phones more. Now more orders are starting to come in. So it really didn't change anything in the shipping aspect. Like, oh wait, now we got to pivot and start shipping. It was something we were already doing, but it became a lot more relevant once COVID did hit. But those shipping fees definitely kill. That's one of the things I definitely can say changed a lot too. Prices started going up on shipping. Shipping fees were already high for what I do because my product is you're receiving a heavy product. These aren't light sweet rolls or anything like that. Yes, they're super fluffy and they're big and things like that, but they're not like a 2 ounce shirt or something like that that you're shipping out. These are at least a good 3 to 4 pounds shipping out to you, 6, 7, 8 pounds depending on how many sweet rolls you're getting. So the shipping fees have went up drastically, and they're going up even more now, especially with everything happening over in Ukraine and everything too. So COVID in Ukraine is making it even worse right now for shipping, but it's something that we're still doing, and people are definitely loving it.
Appreciate you giving us those insights there, Sianni. And I mean, that's just the reality that we live in
Mm-hmm.
right now, the current environment, all these things that are going on, these global issues. We all go to the gas tank. We all feel that pain, right?
Right.
It's going to have to trickle down in certain aspects to the end consumer in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you have some flexibility there. And
Mm-hmm.
you're okay with making sure the customer pays the price that is set and you're not discounting your business. We
Yeah.
hear a lot of stories of businesses in our community thinking that you got to discount heavily. But you know, when I went to your site, I was impressed, right? One, because the story was strong, but then two, I think the way that you're pricing it, that's not something that everybody has the stomach for in this
Right.
current
Yeah.
environment, right? You think, oh, I gotta have a discounted price, I gotta do 2 for 1. Like, no, like let the product speak for itself. And you touched on the pandemic. There's something about sweets and that comfort in the current environment we're in. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
willing to pay for it. You know, I ordered some cinnamon rolls from your business, and I was pleased, right? And I didn't mind paying because I understood, like you said, this is a hefty product. This is something that has substance to it. It's not a
Right.
2 ounce shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just one thing, you know, I definitely commend you on that. But just having the guts in this current environment to really charge what's needed. And I
Mm-hmm.
know the saying that Fat Joe coined, right? Everybody knows that, right? You know, my version of it is the price is the price, right?
Yeah.
So we're not discounting ourselves. We got to put ourselves on the same pedestal as some of those brands. In your case, that people are paying top dollar to go to the supermarket to purchase as well.
Paying the amount of money that you do for our sweet rolls is technically considered a premium product. But I think another thing that a lot of people don't take in consideration with small businesses or businesses in general is we're not able to get some of those bulk discounts that some of the other players are able to because they may be ordering, let's say for example, my containers, for example. They may be ordering like 50,000 containers. Me, I'm like, where the heck am I going to put 50,000 containers? Where am I going to get that cash flow from to even be able to do that as well? So those are some of those things. So I may be paying 25 cents a container versus the bigger players are able to spend maybe 6 cents a container, which is a huge difference, especially when you're talking about volume and wanting to get to more people. That is easily additional thousands of dollars being spent in certain things that could be going towards other places. And of course, that's not the end consumer's problem at all. But in order for us to stay in business, those are the things that we have to take in consideration because, of course, we love what we do. But at the end of the day, this is still our livelihood. Like I'm cranky Randy Sweet Rolls 24/7. I don't have a plan B. I don't have another job. I don't have any of that. It's cranky granny sweet rolls. And of course, we love to say we have to have multiple streams of income and things like that, and I totally believe in that. But my thing is, I'd rather be super successful in one. I'd rather be super successful in one area rather than mediocre in multiple. Now, of course, I want to venture into other things along the lines, but this is the thing that needs to become 100% first because this is something that can easily make millions and billions of dollars. It's just putting that work and that time into it now, and then going on to the next thing. Because honestly, becoming a baker was not my very first thing I was going to ever do. I actually wanted to be in like the music industry and stuff, which this is two totally different things.
Got it. And so you touched on at the end there, you touched on going into the music industry, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, music snaps. But we
Two
are
totally
seeing
different things. Yeah.
entertainers now, right? They're like kind of like cross branding, right? And they're trying to own brands and things like that. So have you seen any similarities between the two industries? As somebody yourself, it sounds like you have interest in the music industry as well. Like, do you see some parallels from your time when you were thinking about going into music?
I feel like the hustle is the same. So when I'm sorry, when I'm looking at something motivational or something that can be motivational to me is listening to different music, listening to like different rap artists and stuff, because I look at it as some of these people, a lot of these rappers, successful rappers, musicians, singers, uh, are in the studio 3, 4 in the morning, pulling day shifts, trying to make sure they're getting all the proper songs out or making sure the songs sound right, writing songs and doing different things like that. So I feel like I identify with the artist more than I do with another baker to a certain extent. Cause I'm going to be honest, I don't look at too many different chefs and like try to compare our stories. I look at a lot of different music artists because I feel like that hustle is the same way. And it can be for other bakers as well, but that's just what I identify with a little bit more, because at one point, like I said, I wanted to go in the music industry. I wanted to be a DJ, music producer, and an A&R, and like go find the talent and everything. But right now, I'm centered on the sweet rolls and everything, and I just feel like it's just really similar. Even down to like the investment standpoint, it's like, okay, say I was a find an investor, he's saying, "Oh, I want 30 or 40% of your business or something like that." To a certain extent, that's the same thing that's happening to these artists. We're going to give you this amount of money. You're going to basically work for us. We're going to give you $100,000. We're going to give you $1 million deal or whatever the case is. And to a certain extent, they basically own a percentage of you. So that's one of the other ways I look at it too.
That makes sense there. You dropping gems, Sianni. I appreciate you sharing this on our platform. And you touched on something at the end, the idea of having investors, how you grow and scale your business. Can you share with us a little bit around like what's your strategy long term to building out Cranky Grannies? Like where do you see it growing, and how do you plan on strategically getting there?
So of course, I want to be able to keep 100% of my business just like anybody else would. But for with the things that I want to make happen, I know that it's going to be, I don't want to say impossible, but it's most definitely going to be a much harder and more difficult and longer road. So we eventually do plan on bringing different investors in, but we want to wait for the right time, and we just want to make sure it makes sense, because we still to since this is our first year having an actual store, we still are kind of in like the early stages, even though the business has been around for years. I feel like it's at a different level. It's at a whole nother different level now, rather than doing everything out of an apartment. So right now, we just want to make sure we come in contact with the right people who aren't trying to take advantage of the early stages and see the full potential. Because I'm starting to understand that if you're willing to give me, let's say, $10,000, that means that my business must be worth $100,000. It must be worth at least 10 times more than what you're willing to offer me. So that puts me in a position where it's like, all right, now I need to smarten up a little bit more and figure out how exactly can we negotiate this in a proper way where it's beneficial for the both of us, because I don't want to take advantage of you and I don't want you to take advantage of me. But we definitely are moving in that direction. Eventually start having investors and things come on, because a lot of people are interested in having their own cranky granny sweet rolls in their own states and things like that in their own city. So it's something that is most definitely going to happen eventually, but right now we're still holding on strong for as long as we can.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Siani. As you were speaking about the knowing your worth, we all know that we all have seen Master P, how he's transitioned, right? We know how he started his career as an athlete and slash rapper, and now he's wearing the suits. He's got multiple brands in house. Like as you were sharing your story there, Sianni, like I'm very excited to see as you're on this journey, right? And you still feel like you're fairly young in the process, right? Where you end up in say 10 years with that mentality of, all right, I'm gonna own my own stuff, and I know it's not gonna be easy to get there. And so I'm curious though, going down that path, your business now is direct to consumer, right? And I feel like the thing with physical products, there's always this kind of like, do I partner with the retailer? We all know the retailers that in your case that would be some of the viable partners, or do I build and kind of have this franchise model? So I'm curious, for you, like how do you juggle that? Are you playing both? Are you playing swimming in both lanes at the same time, or are you really focused on one specific model of growth?
So honestly, there's one company that we're really interested with working with one day, and that would be Starbucks. Like we would love to see Cranky Rainies in the Starbucks. But then on the back end as well, it's like a double-edged sword. I kind of don't want my product in other establishments. Like I kind of want it to be, well, not kind of. I want it to be where you're coming directly to us. Like we pop up in your mind just like a McDonald's does, or a Dairy Queen, or Red Lobster, or whatever the case is. A dependable brand that you know that you this is specifically what you're going there for. We kind of don't want it where, oh, you can go find our product in a Target or a Walmart or a HEB or something like that. That's not really what I'm going for, as far as the cinnamon roll aspect. Now, as far as like the glaze and the toppings, that is something that we eventually do plan on putting in different retailer locations and stuff.
I like the multifaceted approach, Siani.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, I can really tell like you're thinking through like long term, like world domination is the topic, like we like to call it on the
Right.
show, right? Like what that world domination looks like for you. It seems like you're tackling this from a couple different angles, but I'm curious, like from your perspective, like what is the if you could have, that pie in the sky, that world domination for yourself, like what exactly does that look like for you?
So I would say a long term. I'm gonna answer this in like a long term goal way. So a long term goal for us is to have at least one Cranky Grannies in every state, so that way we're able to serve every market. We'll still have shipping available and things like that, but my long term goal right now is to have at least one Cranky Raiders in every state, and then eventually just keep for building off of that and building off of that, and then eventually having maybe some other companies under Cranky Grannies as well. We have some other ideas that we would like to do, that we think can go under the umbrella of Cranky Grannies. That would definitely be great, and I know it most definitely has the potential to do that. But we're just trying to make sure we're going slow and steady with it. We don't want to rush anything, and we don't want to look like, well, I'll reference music again. We don't want to be a one hit wonder. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to just come, make quick cash, and then get out of it. We're looking for longevity out of this. This is something that needs to live on after I'm gone. And after people forget about whoever the heck who created Cranky Randy, we just want it to keep on going on and on. So that's part of that. And then there's things I want to at least to come out of the success of Cranky Randy's as well. Because, like I said, there's other avenues I want to go down, like public speaking, whether that be inspirational, motivational, whatever the case is. But being able to touch a lot more people's lives with the story and everything like that, because a lot of people can identify with Cranky Grannies because everyone has a granny in them. Most grannies, once they start getting a little bit older and stuff, they are a little cranky, but they're also sweet, and they're also the people that we can depend on and we love, and everyone has one. So being able to just say how I started from having someone in my family who inspired me to create a whole multi-billion dollar company, and now I'm able to speak to you guys and let you know that you're able to do the same exact thing too.
Yeah, that's dope. Grannies, we all know, we all love them. The desserts, I can imagine my granny, like her desserts were the best.
Hmm.
So growing up, and so like you said, just the branding, the whole story, like as you were just painting it with your words for us, like I went down memory lane myself, and now I feel like I need to go ahead and put in my second order of Cranky Granny's cinnamon rolls. But you touched on something. This goes along the lines of with Granny's, right, around legacy, right? You want something that's going to be here after. You want the brands to live on after you, right? And so I'm curious. You started out in the entrepreneur program in your high school in New Jersey. Like, what's something that you want that next crop of entrepreneur to keep in mind, right? As they're young, they have these ideas, but they're looking to build something. Like, what do they need to keep in mind?
They need to keep in mind to make sure that you're doing your market research. That's the most essential part of becoming, I feel like, in my opinion, a successful entrepreneur, successful business owner. You need to know your market. People buy from confident people. People don't buy from, I don't know. They don't buy from, I don't know. They buy from people who they know for a fact, know their industry, know their product is good, and it's not going to be sometimesy. So, matter of fact, that would be two things: doing your market research and just making sure you're as consistent as possible.
Short and sweet. I like it. In closing, I want to pass it to you a couple more times. You've been dropping gems the whole time, but how can folks stay in tune with the brand, stay connected, learn about the newest flavors and the newest offering that Cranky Granny's Sweets has to offer?
So we actually have a community. So if you text us at 609-359-0732, you can stay updated with some of the new flavors coming out. Be able to receive different perks, special perks, and things like that. Different discount codes. You can also follow us on our social media pages, though, on Instagram at Cranky Grannies, Twitter at Cranky Grannies, Facebook Cranky Granny Sweet Rolls, on TikTok at Sweet Roll Dealer, and our website is crankygrannies.com.
You got it all on lock. I like seeing when businesses have that brand across all social media channels and your name is unique. So, when people Google it, right, they're probably either going to get your brand or memes about Cranky Grannies, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no,
but I
that's
feel like
exactly
you
what
got that
happened.
on lock. And then, so last up, I just want to pass it to you this last time. Like, what's that lasting thought that you want people listening in, potential new customers, some folks that are thinking about maybe starting their own business? Like, what do you want them to keep in mind as that one takeaway from this conversation? Obviously, you've given us plenty of gems, but what's that one lasting takeaway you want them to keep top of mind?
The days that you don't feel like doing it the most are the days that are going to be the most impactful for your business. So, of course, you're going to wake up with days where you're just like, I really just don't feel like doing this at all. But those are going to be the days that mean the most in your journey and in your success. It's about the process of it. It's not about the end goal. It's not about when you finally hit that million or that 5 million or whatever your goal number is. It's not about when you hit that number. It's about the process of it and the lessons that you take out of it. Don't take anything as a loss. Think of it as, this is giving me some time to sit back, think how I can do this better, and make sure this doesn't happen again. So just take as many lessons in everything that you do and, just keep going. It's going to be a difficult process, but, nothing comes easy. If it was going to be easy, everybody would be doing it.
That's facts, Sianni. Couldn't have said it any better. I wish I had a mic to pass you so you could drop the mic because that's the last gem that I feel like we can close out this conversation with. But I definitely appreciate you for coming on, sharing your story from New Jersey to Austin. It's amazing. I'm excited to see more of the growth. I'll be ordering more product for those listening in. Make sure you tap in with the brand. They ship nationwide. I got my product real quick. And I'm excited again to see physical good products such as Sianni's. This is another way you can be a founder. Everything isn't just the digital world moving forward. Like there's still tons of value in physical experiences. So again, thank you, Sianni, for coming on. And to the listeners, thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Beyond Normal Podcast. Peace.